With all the rain and weather events going on in Texas and here in the Crossroads, we're actually going to start with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Howie Gordon to see what activity is going on and what the rest of your weekend will look like. Howie?
Thanks, Adam. Yes, we've had some showers. They look to continue as well. We're looking at some more storms pushing in from the northwest as well as out of northeastern Mexico. Already a very unstable environment with lots of moisture. And yes, we can see some more showers overnight, maybe in the form of 2 to 3 inches of rain potentially into Sunday morning. Here we go. Winds not too bad. Not going to be too bad really over the next couple of days. We still have those flood watches and warnings. Those are going to at least Tuesday now. Overnight, 68 degrees. I said 2 to 3 inches of rain with a 60% chance of these showers. We'll talk all about it and more in detail in my full forecast coming up in just a bit, Adam.
All right. Thanks, Howie. Here are the current river flood warnings posted for the Crossroads from the National Weather Service. In Victoria and Goliad counties, a river flood warning in effect until further notice for the San Antonio River at Goliad. Another flood warning in effect until Monday morning. Major flooding is forecast at Coletto Creek at Arnold Road Crossing with flood stage at 15 feet. And a flood warning in effect from now until further notice. Moderate flooding forecast at the Guadalupe River. Major lowland flooding at much of Riverside Park. The river is expected to rise above flood stage and continue rising to a crest of 29.3 feet early Tuesday afternoon. And in Lavaca County, they have Country Road 302 culvert, a washout there. You can see right there beneath the road on Country Road 302 between Country Road 319 and Mount Olive. That road is shut down. And the Victoria Police Department with a road closure. This at North Bend Jordan Street from Seguin Avenue to Silverado Trail. Now it closed due to the roadway collapsing as a result of heavy rainfall. The Victoria Police Department saying to please find alternative routes and to be safe. The City of Victoria also issuing a statement saying the boat ramp, Fox's Bend and Grover's Bend will remain closed through next week as river levels are expected to remain high. Parks and Recreation continuing to monitor the river to determine when those areas can be reopened. And multiple road closures in DeWitt County. This is from the DeWitt County Sheriff's Office. They said there are flooded roadways throughout DeWitt County, and many of the county roads are barricaded. Their office has actually run out of barricades after setting them up along those multiple flooded roadways. TxDOT continuing to monitor the highways and farm-to-market roads, and they said to be careful when driving and to just avoid any flooded or barricaded roadways. And due to the heavy rains and already saturated grounds in Edna, there are many streets throughout Edna that are holding water. The Edna PD saying it's for everyone to stay home and when possible and to not drive through those high water areas, which causes wakes and water to push up even further onto yards. Anyone caught driving through high water areas unnecessarily could receive a citation. So this brings us to your viewer poll this evening. You can scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. So that question, have you experienced any flooded roadways here in the Crossroads this weekend? 21% say yes and 79% say no. Well, either way, stay safe. And you know the saying, turn around, don't drown. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate. An EF1 tornado touching down here in South Texas early this morning, killing one person and leaving behind significant damage. The National Weather Service and Cameron County officials said the twister made landfall just after 4 a.m. in Laguna Heights. The preliminary damage assessment indicates the tornado had wind speeds around 86 to 105 miles per hour. Officials said in addition to the one death, there were at least 10 others who were hurt and transported to local hospitals.
At approximately 4:04 to 4:06 a.m. this morning, an EF1 tornado touched down in Laguna Heights with winds between 85 and 105 miles per hour. We are aware at this point of unfortunately one fatality, and 10 individuals have been transported to local hospitals. Our understanding is that those injuries are not life-threatening at this point. Obviously, with a tornado of this size and in this area, we're thankful that at this point we only have one fatality.
Crews are working to restore power to the area and to continue searching for victims. We turn now to the crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border, now overwhelming communities thousands of miles away. More buses carrying asylum seekers arrived at the Port Authority bus terminal in New York, and more are expected. At the U.S.-Mexico border, confusion among the thousands of migrants, families who have made the long journey from as far away as Venezuela.
Tonight, the nation's immigration laws under a microscope, with buses carrying hundreds of migrants from the southern border to cities all across the U.S. From Chicago and New York City's Port Authority to Denver, where the mayor there is warning of city service cuts if the federal government doesn't step in.
And we're going to provide support, all the support that we can right now. But if it's only us and a handful of local nonprofits doing anything about it, that support is going to become insufficient very quickly.
And it's not just major metropolitan areas. Just outside of New York City, leaders in 2 counties filing lawsuits, even getting restraining orders to stop New York City Mayor Eric Adams from busing migrants to their communities.
We were told last Friday from the mayor of New York City that we would have 60 people, men, delivered to a hotel in Orange County. Now we have 82.
The governor sending a letter to President Biden asking for federal assistance. All of this just days after Title 42, a Trump-era health policy allowing for swift expulsions at the border, expired. Border towns bracing for even more migrant arrivals.
We know that there's more going to be coming.
The Department of Justice predicting 12 to 14,000 migrants crossing the border illegally per day. However, last week's average daily encounters just over 9,000 per day, with May 8th through the 10th surpassing 10,000 a day.
No más.
Confusion on both sides of the border. In Tijuana, Diana Patino and her son waiting to be processed. She says there is a lot of uncertainty and stress. And tonight, the White House confirming a medical investigation is underway after a 17-year-old migrant from Honduras died while in custody at a Florida facility. The Biden administration had wanted to be able to release migrants before they were given a notice to appear in court. A judge put a stop to that. The Department of Justice appealed and lost the appeal. White House press secretary says the administration sees that ruling as sabotage and will continue to deal with those coming across the border in the most humane way possible. Phil Lipoff, ABC News, New York.
And 3 more buses carrying migrants from the southern border arrived on New York City today. It's unclear exactly where they'll end up. Mayor Eric Adams said earlier this week that he plans to send them either to hotels in the Hudson Valley or possibly to a school gymnasium in the Coney Island section of Brooklyn. Residents have expressed outrage over those proposals. Local leaders also upset. They say the mayor's office has not effectively communicated the city's plans and they have not received proper notification. All right, Crossroads, grab your cell phones and scan this QR code. This is our quick response code to download the Crossroads Today app, where you can watch us anytime, anywhere, and get breaking news alerts and vote in those viewer polls. You can also learn all about our ongoing contests right there on the app, and you can also submit news tips and photos. Stay with us. Coming up, the governor of North Carolina officially rejected a Republican-backed abortion bill today.
More storms headed our way means more rain headed our way as well. We'll talk more about it coming up in just a little while.
The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office is warning the U.S. could default on its debts in early June. If the debt ceiling deadlock continues in Washington, that warning comes amid growing calls for the White House and congressional Republicans to reach a deal to raise the debt limit to prevent an economic crisis.
With a possible U.S. debt default just weeks away, Republicans, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, are pushing for President Biden to cut trillions of dollars in federal spending before agreeing to increase the debt limit.
This is not a normal place for us to be, to have House Republicans hold our economy hostage.
But the president has called for a debt limit hike without any preconditions. A White House meeting between the president and congressional leaders on Tuesday ended without a deal, and a meeting scheduled for Friday was postponed.
I have not seen from there a seriousness of the White House that they want to deal.
On Saturday, the president tweeting default is not an option, saying he thinks the talks are moving along.
There's real discussion about some changes, but we're not there yet.
Increasing the debt limit would allow the U.S. to continue paying its bills, and lawmakers are running out of time. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office is warning of a significant risk the government won't have enough money to pay its bills in the first 2 weeks of June. If that happens, as many as 66 million Americans may see their Social Security payments delayed. Federal workers and troops could go unpaid. Millions of jobs could be slashed, and borrowing costs could spike. Staffers are meeting through this weekend to try to make progress on a deal. Two potential areas of agreement on the budget talks include reforming permits for energy projects and clawing back unspent COVID relief funds. The president is expected to meet with the 4 leaders of Congress again early next week. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
The governor of North Carolina officially rejecting a Republican-backed abortion bill. Hundreds of abortion rights activists and voters watched on a plaza in Raleigh as Democratic Governor Roy Cooper affixed his veto stamp to the legislation, Senate Bill 20. The bill serves as the Republican response to last year's U.S. Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade and would reduce the cutoff for many abortions in the state from 20 weeks to 12, as well as add numerous other restrictions to women seeking abortions and the clinics seeking to provide them.
Let's be clear. This bill has nothing to do with making women safer and everything to do with banning abortion.
The GOP has just enough seats in the North Carolina House and Senate to override Governor Cooper's veto, but a single defection could doom the proposal. The family of Lachelle Jordan spoke out Saturday, days after the missing Cleveland EMT turned up, barefoot and in torn clothes, 3 miles from where she was last seen.
A miracle did happen.
Yes, sir.
Lachelle Jordan's father thanking law enforcement, the media, EMS, and everyone who helped bring his daughter home.
I had one small request, and that was to bring my daughter home safely. That request was granted.
Jordan, a Cleveland EMT, had been missing for nearly a week. Her family telling police she stepped outside to grab something from her car last Saturday evening and never returned. On Friday, the 30-year-old seen on this surveillance video limping into a convenience store, barefoot, her clothes tattered, using the clerk's phone to call 911.
You'll never believe this. We just got a call from Lachelle Jordan. She said she got away from the people that kidnapped her. They tried to burn her alive.
She was taken to the hospital for treatment.
Lachelle has had some trauma. She's had some injuries. And she's been hospitalized. And she's getting medical treatment.
The alleged kidnapping took place just days before Jordan was set to testify in a rape and kidnapping case involving 65-year-old Michael Stennett, who was reportedly a former co-worker. Stennett had been indicted on 2 counts of rape and 1 count of abduction. He has pleaded not guilty. Out on bond pending trial, Stennett was arrested Monday for violating a protective order filed by Jordan. However, police have not implicated Stennett in her disappearance and have not released any other information in her disappearance and recovery. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
A 17-year-old migrant died in U.S. immigration custody. Angel Eduardo Margarita Espinoza, who is from Honduras, died at a facility in Florida. The Office of Refuge Resettlement is reviewing the details surrounding the teen's death. The Florida officials say they are ready to assist in the investigation, but oversight of the facility is solely the jurisdiction of the federal government. According to the Associated Press, this is the first known immigrant child death that occurred in federal custody under President Joe Biden. Under President Donald Trump, 6 immigrant children died while in U.S. custody. For more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Estrain will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them.
More rain and potential flooding on the way. We'll talk all about it straight ahead. Okay, let's get right to it. So rain through Tuesday, maybe even beyond, because we're looking at more showers through a good portion of the week as well. Slightly cooler, the rain and the clouds keeping us on the cooler side, then possibly, 3 inches or more of rain in the coming days. All right, here's what we had today. Today's high was about 81 degrees. So we sit about 5 degrees below average. We could be as warm as 94 and then some. But again, clouds and rain going to block out the sunshine. That's going to keep us on the cooler side. All right, here's some more weather hazards. All right, some of this green has shrunk a little bit. Still looking at some flood warnings and watches, though. Here's what we have. Most of them along the rivers. The rivers continuing to take on more water due to the rain. But we're going to break that down, too. Here's what we got for Coleto Creek. Okay, so it's not moderate, not major, but getting close to it. And hey, with more rain on the way, we're going to continue to monitor this. And then we have Guadalupe River near Bloomington. So that looks to get potentially on the higher side as well. Again, we're flooding now and more rain is on the way. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on everything to keep everyone safe and let you know what's taking place. Here's our future tracker. Again, still looking at showers. We might lighten up a little, maybe Monday night into Tuesday, potentially. But hey, it looks to keep on coming through much of the week. Again, here's our flood warning. Some of these disappeared over the last couple hours, but hey, we're due to see some more showers, more storms moving in from the northwest as well as out of northeastern Mexico. Going to continue to bring us more rain. All right, here's a look at our radar. Not too ominous compared to earlier this morning and the last couple of days, but hey, it's going to start ramping up again, as I talked about those storms pushing in from the west. But for now, really just seeing some showers off the coast and over in the eastern portion of our viewing area. No winds, really not too bad. So staying on the 5 mile per hour to calm side. It could pick up next couple of days, but I'm talking 10 to 15 miles, maybe some 20 mile per hour gusts, but nothing too bad. Now, this boundary is going to slowly make its way into the area, but hey, I talked about from the west and northwest, some disturbances pushing into the area. So yes, more rain overnight and into Sunday, maybe some hardcore heavy downpour. I said that earlier. So we could be looking at some heavy stuff, and then really as things clear up here and there, but the moisture and the rain look to keep on coming as disturbances continue to push into the area, really right through the middle of the week and potentially even beyond. Here's another look at our future tracker. So here's what we got. We got some heavy stuff on Sunday. Look at that. some areas. Doesn't look, okay, here we go. Here's some of the red and the orange, some of the heavier bands moving in. That's making its way into Monday and into Tuesday. Yeah, even some heavy rain on Tuesday. Here's our marine forecast. So occasionally up to 6 feet. Our seas, that is, that'll keep our bays on the choppy side. Overnight, 68 degrees, 2 to 3 inches of rain, 60% chance that those showers do move back into the area. And then for tomorrow, 81 degrees, another ½ inch of rain, 70% chance we see that rain. And then looking ahead, here's what we have. I have alert days, potentially right into Tuesday, potentially might change that. But for now, yeah, we still are looking at some showers as the week moves along. Here is what we have. Even by Saturday then, rain chances look to increase as well as the temperatures. For more weather, news, and sports, you go to our app. That's at crossroadstoday.com. That is free with any Android and iPhone. But now we go to Sports with Zach.
Howie, thank you. One area team sprinting to new heights. I'll have that coming up in sports. Good evening, Crossroads. I'm back in town and more tan than ever because I was in Austin for track and field events last night. Refugio absolutely dominant. During football season, Ernest the Flash Campbell told me no one in South Texas can beat him. Well, here he is in the 4x200 collecting his third gold medal of the day. He catches a bit of a cramp at the end and he would go down, but not before he hits his celebration. The Star Junior told me afterwards he wants to compete in track and football at the collegiate level. Many eyes will be on him during his senior season. The girls just as dominant. Peyton Oliver brought home some gold. The relay team was fantastic. The girls, much like the boys, finished first in many events, winning the 4x100. Peyton Oliver winning the 100-meter sprint in her final race as a Bobcat, as they come in a three-way tie for first overall. Now check this out. Back to the boys. Final race of the evening. Refugio trailing in the boys 4x400. Isaiah Avery brings them a little closer. And in the final exchange, it's Jason Moore. He gets passed late, falls to fourth. Looked for all the world that Refugio might not place in this race, but wait just 1 second. Jason Moore turns on the afterburners, finds one final gear, and Refugio stuns everyone at the final second to take first in the race and first overall. Now a bright light shined on Refugio, but many other kids made state as well. Cuero relay did not place at the meet. However, they did set a school record with an overall time of 47.94, which is a great accomplishment, and they have a lot to build from. Two teams moving on in the NBA postseason, starting with the Knicks and Heat. Knicks in a win or go home situation, needing to get a huge road victory. Jimmy Butler led the way with 24 points, followed by 23 from Bam Adebayo. The Knicks got 41 from Jalen Brunson, but it wasn't enough. The Knicks lose a tough one, 96-92. The Heat will play either Boston or Philly. LeBron James and the Lakers trying to get rid of Steph Curry's Warriors. LeBron James, smelling blood, drops 39-9. Great battle with Steph, who had 32. The only problem, Golden State had just 2 guys in double digits. Klay Thompson, only 8 points. Jordan Poole, just 7. Lakers dominant, 122-101, and will face Denver for a shot to go to the finals. NFL rookie camp underway. The Texans with 2 of the draft's top 3 picks. They get a first look at the likely new quarterback 1, C.J. Stroud, and linebacker Will Anderson. The Texans also brought in Houston Cougar Tank Dell, who Stroud advocated for, and what they hope is a strong connection. And tonight, as many of you may have seen, Oklahoma Sooner great Bob Stoops, now an XFL champion with the Arlington Renegades. Adam, back to you.
Yeah, that was cool to see. So a Texas team won and an Oklahoma coach. So
Boomer Sooner.
Boomer Sooner. Thanks, Zach. Stay with us. Coming up, President Biden giving a commencement speech at one college graduation. It's graduation season, and President Joe Biden served as the commencement speaker for Howard University's 155th commencement ceremony today. The president delivered remarks at Vice President Kamala Harris's alma mater. He even became an honorary Bison after receiving an honorary doctorate of humane letters. During his speech, Biden condemned white supremacy while calling on graduates to meet the moment and change the course of history. He also encouraged the class of 2023 to find a sweet spot between happiness, success, and ambition as they embark on their future endeavors. You know, speaking of graduates, we have one here at our station, Scott Pitney. He graduated this weekend.
Scott Pitney, officially meteorologist
yes.
Scott Pitney, and also at Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts graduated officially from OU. So anybody debating if it's OU or Bama he chooses OU.
Woohoo!
Congratulations, Jalen, and congratulations to our very own Scott Pitney, meteorologist. Scott Pitney. And speaking of meteorologists, let's take one last look at our weather conditions. Here's what we have. Okay, so yet not too active on the radar, but we are expecting more disturbances to push in to an already destabilized atmosphere, a very moisture-ridden environment, and that could produce some more showers overnight, maybe a couple inches or more of some rain. And for tomorrow, 81 degrees, another half inch of rain, 70% chance. And looking ahead, okay, a couple alert days in a row here and there. And later in the week, we start to warm up and with more rain chances.
All righty. Thank you, Howie. Thank you, Zach. And thank you all for being with us. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on crossroadstoday.com. Have a good night.